Hey YouTube, let's take a little bit of time today to talk about psychological cues, be they auditory, visual, or physical in nature, in order to get yourself into a preset mindset before a lift. Now what I mean about this is when you're going to do like a heavy set, all right, and this is mainly like this is me talking from experience with heavy weights. I mean, I don't, this obviously would go to my bodybuilding counterparts, but for me specifically, I'm going to talk about heavy weights. So let's take today's workout for me, for example. I started off with sumo deadlifts, and then I did heavy overhead press. And my lower end set, it was 465 pounds for 5, 525 pounds for 3, and then 595 pounds for a single. My 1 rep max is 625, so that puts that at about 95% on my 1 rep max for a single, which for me is heavy. Me, I guess. Now, I have trained myself over the last little while, kind of like Pavlov's dog, to have different cues in order to get myself into a preset mindset. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ivan Pavlov was, he was a Russian physiologist who was very famous for what he would do is he would ring a bell every single time he fed a dog. And over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks, finally he removed the food but kept the stimulus of the bell ring, at which point the dog would start salivating because it knew food was coming. Even if food wasn't in front of it, it would salivate as if there was. Now, sad to say, we're not that much different as human beings, and we can create physiological cues in order to create certain preset stimulus within the body. Now, what I mean by this is, for me, two things that I have is one, I have like a power song on my phone that when I really am looking at a bar and I'm like, oh, motherfucker, how am I going to do this? I'll play the song. And I'll play that song every single time I'm lifting like crazy fuck off heavy. All right? And what that does is when you start to lift heavy, your body's like, your adrenaline's through the roof, your endocrine system's working overdrive, all of your muscles are going full tilt. And after a period of time, I've trained my body so that when I play that song, even before I even look at the bar, touch the bar, my heart starts racing and like I get that like adrenaline rush before I've even touched the bar. All right, and I've trained myself that just this song, this auditory cue, will get me ramped up for a lift. Now I only use it on the high end lifts because I don't want to desensitize myself to that song and what it's meant to do. The other thing I'll do is right before a really heavy lift. And anybody who's ever spotted me or seen me lift heavy, I'll sit there and I'll tell myself, like, it sounds really stupid, but I'll just be like, it's fucking easy peasy. Like, that's it. And those words will come out of my mouth. Like, I'll be benching and I'll be looking at the bar and I'm like, fucking easy peasy, baby. And sometimes my spotter will be like, easy peasy, let's go. And I'm not even listening to them. That wasn't for them. That was for me. But just saying those words cues me. And then all of a sudden my adrenaline's ramping up. Like, I've got my breathing down. Everything's tense, everything's tight, and all because I just said some words. But because I have done it every fucking time I lift heavy with every single heavy set on the top end, I've created artificial cues for my body to get my body to go, oh shit, this is coming, let's go. Now you can do that too. Now there are ways that you can do that, whether it be auditory, like a power song, like I have, where I play it like only on my really devastatingly heavy sets that I know I'm gonna need it for. Or when I use the words like easy peasy, it gets my head going, this is it, let's do this. There's visual cues where you can have like you're getting ready, and it's like swimmers, you know, they're there, and the gunshot goes, and then boom, they're in the water, right? And that gunshot, not only is it like a hey, it's time to start the race, by the way, if you're interested, but they've also trained up so that gunshot gets their heart just racing, right? Other than the fact that it's a loud noise. Right, they've cued themselves, like they've trained themselves to know what that noise means. Physical in nature, sometimes you'll see like powerlifters right before a lift will have buddy like smacking their back or like pounding their chest. Sometimes I've seen guys get slapped in the face. And while these unto themselves will cause adrenaline rushes because you're hitting yourself and you're like, your body's like, oh hey, physical damage, let's pump up the endocrine system and adrenal glands to kill the pain, you've created cues. Right? And that's what I'm getting at with regards to this, is just physiological cues before you go to do a lifting set that will get your body already there. Now you could just walk up to the bar and be like, yeah, I gotta lift that. Shit. All right, let's go. And you get on the bar and you give her a lift, and either you get it or you don't. I don't know. There's nothing to say that you have to have these cues, but I will tell you from experience that having auditory cues for myself has made a huge difference, especially when I'm looking at a bar and I'm like, I don't think I can do this. Power song goes on, I'm like, okay, time to stop being a little bitch. And then I kind of get onto the bar. I've got almost everything ready to go, and I'll just it's easy peasy. Fucking just lift the bar, and then the bar moves because it always does. Well, not always. That's a lie. Most of the time it moves. But that's all I'm getting at, guys. You can create your own physiological cues. I highly recommend music, but don't use the song all the time. Keep it just for those heavy sets, or keep it just for when you really need to like that little extra boost. Runners do the same thing. I know a lot of runners that when they're feeling just absolutely like dying, they'll throw on a power song, and it's like, you know, it can be anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I can do this, and it gives them a little bit of an artificial second wind, because that's what they've trained that music to do, right? That's it, guys. I hope this gives you guys an idea on how to use physiological cues to get like preset your body or pre-jump your body towards being ready for a lift. It does work. Anecdotal, yes, but also there is evidence in scientific research that shows that preset cues can get your body's blood pressure to rise, your heart to race, your adrenaline to start. Adrenaline? I'm a nurse. Fuck me. Adrenaline to start racing before you've even done anything, and you can go throw one of these physiological preset signals out with not even being at the gym, and you'll garner the similar physiological response because your body's trained that that's what it's supposed to do. Right now, if I were to play my power song, I'd probably start getting a little bit sweaty, my heart would race, I'd get a little bit lightheaded because my adrenaline would be rushing, and I'm not even at the fucking gym right now. Little fun things that you can do to help get yourself ahead in lifting. I find when I'm most fatigued is when it's the best. However, having said that, when I'm going for a PR, it's the same thing. Power song, and if I'm recording, I can't have my earphones in, so I'll say it to myself, right? And then I'll lift, because I got to use one of the two cues or both. That's it. Questions, comments down below. It's really simple. You can do it to yourself. You can do it to Buddy. You can do it to your dog. Pavlov's famous for doing that. Anyways, questions and comments down below. And as always, guys, eat like a bodybuilder. Train like a powerlifter.